Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How y'all doing? Come on in, come on in. What we're going to talk about today is based on testimony, okay? Not just the testimony, but the supervisor's testimony and the recording of his information, alleged recording of his information within his department issued memo book. That would be one of these. Now, based on the fact of his testimony, where he stated he recorded the incident in his memo book 2 days later, most law enforcement officers or personnel of the city of New York knows that when they department issue memo book, you record everything that occurred today, on today, in today's in the memo book of today, within your heading and everything. I'm not even gonna go that far. Why? Boom. So, we're going to go to page number 20. Page number 20 is the hospital security memorandum book. Okay, this dates back to formally issued of 9/16/91. Okay? So we're going to go to the responsibilities. We're going to come all the way down to hospital security officer and supervisors, excluding captains. We're going to start with one. Are to be responsible for carrying and maintaining a memorandum book while on duty. We're going to go to number two. Are to be responsible for recording the following information in the memorandum book concerning each officer's or supervisor's tour of duty. Let's go with A. A would be the current date tour of duty, tour commander, weather, condition, the officer or supervisor's name, shield number, where acceptable, right? No, where applicable, radio number, car number, where applicable, the assignment, meals, and breaks. You know that already goes on there. You already know that. Then we're going to go to B. The exact time of arrival at the post or assignment, the name of the person relieved, the officer relieved, and it says that we're applicable the post conditions, post number, post location. Let's go to the next one. We're going to go to C. The exact time and nature of any changes in the post assignment. We're going to go to D. The, how would you say, departure time. The duration, the return time, and a brief description of any leaves from assigned posts, including assignment for meals and other authorized reasons. We're going to go to E. E will be any occurrence or situation related to functions or duties with a brief summary of the relative details, answering the following question: who, what, when, why, and how. We're going to go to F. The present officer's name and shield number or supervisor's name at the end of the tour. And we're going to go to G. All additional information relevant to any specific incident occurring during the assigned tour, including the full name and classification of the persons involved, patient, visitor, employee, as well as the address, department, ward, and any specific details describing the persons involved, including any distinguished features, such as information may be recorded on the back of the page, online side of the memo book. No problem. But we're going to go down to 3. Are to be reasonable, responsible for recording entries in the memorandum book in the following manner: black ink and legible handwriting. That's A. B. Chronological order of tour according to for all days, including all schedules and approved passes, annual leaves, sick leave days, and holidays. Chronological order without skipping, removing, destroying, or rearranging the rearrangling orders of page, with the exception of separating one day's duty from another's day by one line only, and initiating the blank line. And we're gonna go to D. Concerning any particular tour, the same memorandum book is to be used until filled with no information concerning that tour written into any other memo book. 4. Are to be responsible for complying with the following procedures concerning the memorandum book: maintaining memorandum book on a current basis and making them available for inspection by security supervisors. That would be A. B. Correcting incorrect entries in the book by drawing a single line through the incorrect portion, and by initialing each correction. White out liquid paper or single corrective fluids are not to be used to cover or correct mistakes under any circumstances. Relinquish all complete memorandum books to security supervision in exchange for the insurance of a new blank memorandum book. Let's see if that's the end. Oh, that's the end. So we're going to go back to G. All additional information relevant to any specific incident occurring during the assigned tour, including the full name and classifications of any person involved, patient, visitor, employee, as well as the address, department, ward, and any specific detail describing the person involved, including any distinguishing features, such as information may be recorded on the back of the page, online side of the memorandum book. Now, let's just close this out right here. Basically, they're just saying that you could take and after recording anything on this page, if you have extra, you could take it and record it here, such as certain things was recorded here and here, right? And then even up here, see how much that is? These are usually the jobs we go to, and when we get the job, we put the information there, such as the patients on those that was involved. Okay. Before we write the full detail of what occurred at the location, and then that would be once we 1091 end of it, and then we 1098 back on patrol. My point and argument is this supervisor lied. He wrote a lie in his memo book 2 days later. Said actions to do so would constitute offering a punishable instrument, because you're making it punishable for filing on the record, because this is filing on the record. This is anytime they could use this could be used as an accusatory instrument. For filing on the record is in violation of Penal Law Code 210-45 of the Penal Law Code. That's what you call a Class A misdemeanor. The mere fact that you did it in your public servant, supervisor, law enforcement officer, violation of 19500, subsection 19500, official misconduct. You work for a corporation, right? Health and Hospitals Corporation. Bingo. You know what you're doing is illegal. Violation of subsection 2020 under criminal liability of the corporation, because you're a supervisor for the corporation. Also violation of under the criminal liability for the corporation 2025, because you're a supervisor, your whole title. The mere fact that you made the punishment instrument, like we said, that was subsection 210-45. But you gotta understand, and you verbally said it. That would be perjury. So you perjured yourself. That's a felony. That's a straight felony. I think it's 210-40. Not really right, not sure, but I'll look it up. The key things that you offer the instruments for filing on the record. We're gonna go with subsection 175.30, but being that they could boost it up to section 175.30 will be a Class A misdemeanor, but if they boost it up to 35, it'll be a Class E felony. The mere fact that you wrote this instrument and you didn't follow due process on the policies and procedures of the employee's corporate compliance policy, it would bring about subsection 195.05, obstruction of governmental administration. The key thing is that you took this information and you passed it on, along with the rest of them, to filing on the record to be used at 40 Rector. Love it. Said action to do so with this fraudulent information filed on the record for it to go further and go to another entity to be used would constitute defrauding the government. Because although you work for the North Brooklyn Health Center or Health Network, you work for the Health and Hospitals Corporation of the City of New York, you're defrauding them. They have to take actions. You can't defraud the employer, who also works for the city of New York, who's the major corporation. You cannot defraud the employer. That's a Class E felony, defrauding the government. Well, let's go further. We look at all of these actions in the whole 9 yards, and It's just remarkable, that the lawyers let it go past along with the judge. The mere fact of seeing that, and the mere fact that this is not in compliance with this, constitutes an impropriety. Once the impropriety is kicked in, that whole charge is supposed to have been thrown out. That ship is not sailing. Somebody just torpedoed the ship while it was docked, so it's sinking. Court is a ship. The judge is the captain of the ship. The ship is sinking. For the judge to say sustain, sustain on these charges would constitute ultravirus. Ultravirus is when, how would you say? A court officer or officer of the court goes beyond their powers. To go beyond your powers is to go beyond your canons. Judges under canons 2 are to avoid impropriety and even the appearance of an impropriety. Lawyers under canons 9 are to avoid improprieties, even the appearance of impropriety. They both fall subject under New York State Judicial Code of Conduct, Part 1200. We're going to go straight to 8.4. Misconduct. Under the Judicial Code of Conduct, or Judicial Code, Judicial Code of Conduct, falls under subsection 487, which is a Class A misdemeanor. That is for the lawyers in the council for violation of their oath. So enough of that. We're just gonna leave that right there. But I'm gonna take your case apart totally. On that note, the facts cannot be altered nor denied. Have a wonderful day, folks. Later.